Also, in order to register to vote in Mississippi, you had to register at the county courthouse and then the city hall. You couldn't do it by going to a place where you got your driver's license. You couldn't do it by filling out a piece of paper and notarizing the mail in. You couldn't do nothing. So I really felt that once I finished that job, Mary's death would not have been in vain. There were other things I did. 16th section school trust lane. Those of you, how many of you know what 16th section is? Okay. Once upon a time, 16th section land was being leased for a penny an acre for 99 years. It was in Rankin County and several other counties. When we finished our fight and our reform, there were some school districts that got $1 million an acre for 40 years. Now we came up against a lot of opposition because those people that had those sweetheart ideas definitely didn't want to let it go. But we did that, and we also gave some credibility to coastal wetlands leases. They were no longer sweetheart ideas. So I felt in doing that work that I was really meeting a challenge and exceeding. Felt good about it. Then I got tired of that because nothing else to do that was exciting. And I started working with the Mississippi Democratic Executive Committee, Committee coordinating campaign, and stayed there for almost 6 months, living out of everything. Then I got tired of that and went home to private practice. And where I later became Scott County Youth Court prosecutor. I really, really enjoy working with young people who need attention. And I enjoy that. And I served as president of the Slaughter Memorial Foundation, and now serving as president of the Legacy Education and Community Power Foundation. And in sharing that with you, I'm going to suggest and invite you to share, to occasionally review your contributions. I know that this program is about learning about history. But I challenge you to be a part of history. You don't have to be the first to do this. But I challenge you to ask yourselves daily, are you making a difference? Are you a proper role model for your students? Do you care about your students? One of my greatest concerns right now, we have a parents committee, is that there are teachers who don't articulate a concern for students, be it verbal, or be it by actions. And it's not just teachers that concern me, it's just this world concerns me, that we have people who talk a good game but who don't live that game. And I go back to Paul. Linda's the person who got me interested in Paul. She's a Bible major, philosophy, theology. But I know that he says that good deeds matter. You can think in your soul good things, but unless you do those things, and your students, as you well know, they need to know who they are. When we're talking about history, we're talking about identifying the present and tying the present with what happened back then. And I know I'm preaching, I'm not supposed to preach, I'm supposed to tell you about me. But my challenge that your lives, if you sit down and think about what you've done while you are teaching, young people need to know that they are special, and that rather than be a computer analyst, or rather than be an assistant to someone who operates a big company, you are doing what you want to do. They are not, well, they have anything else to do, so I decided to be a teacher. If you can convey that to them, then I forgive you. At this point in time, I will see if you got any questions. I hope I don't have any time left over, but if you got any questions.
You have about 5 minutes.
Are there any questions?
Somebody has a question, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just want to get out 5 minutes here. Yes, sir.
Can you talk a little bit about your experiences at the Ole Miss Law School?
Yes. Well, there were occasions, many occasions, when the N-word was frequently used. And it really didn't bother me. But if the N-word was used and someone tried to put their hands on it, that was a problem. And it was just well known that I didn't permit people to touch me. And in a lot of instances, there were undergraduates who were African American, and they would folks would put their hands on, stop on the back, and, touch their hair. I just didn't like that. Never could appreciate that. There was an instance where my professor used the word Ian. He used the N-word in class, and I raised my hand and asked him how he spelled it. Not knowing that there was suicide. Well, he said it's N-E-G-R-O, but that's Negro. And he said, that's what I said, Negro. And some of the guys laughed. There were several times when I got into a physical altercation with a guy who said that he was not going to share his sidewalk with any Negroes. And, we walked and we sort of hit each other. You walk outside the street and do that. And he hit a couple of times. So when he saw me coming, sometimes he would just move over just a little bit. But in one instance, he almost knocked me out. Hit me so hard. Next thing I knew, we were on the ground. So, there's a football game. Johnny Hawkins said that he would never have, he used the N-word to play for him on his team. So they were playing at the University of Houston, Texas. And there was this black quarterback, Warren McVay, came down and, he wanted to meet some black people. We had a good time and took us out to the hotel. And at the game, that's why I haven't been to a game since then, except for my daughter's game. She was president of the student body. But Warren McVay got the ball, and I'm sitting on University of Mississippi side, and he got the ball, and I just stood up and just, not really knowing the issue of the university and football, really not caring. The next thing I knew, a Coke bottle barely missed my head. And I turned around and I saw this guy, his head was coming down and he was holding a rebel flag. And I don't remember what happened, but I do know they stopped the game. Got all the black students out of the field and resumed playing. Down hall, I remember students saying nasty things, and one guy wanted to throw some food. A lot of things that I remember. I remember good things about a professor who was a very good person. His name was Joel Glass. He later became Supreme Court Justice, and he's being memorialized tomorrow. And there were some good people there. But I remember raising my hand in contracts class because I really wanted to know whether or not I was heading in the right direction. And the professor never called on me until he would just say, "Get it back." And he'd look at me. And I was so eager to find out whether or not I was heading in the right direction, I would speak. And so some of the kids started calling me anybody. Situations like that. Is that responsible? Any other questions?
Were there any women in those classes?
When I went to law school, there were 3 African-American women. And as Noah said, Jerry and myself, I went to summer school because I knew that if I left on a summer vacation, I wouldn't come back. So I went straight to summer school. There was Carol West with us, there was Pat Hancock, and there was another girl whose name I can't recall. It might have been Becky Floyd. There were about 7 women in the law school. Now, I cannot recall taking a class with a woman. All of my classes were with men because I was in criminal law, criminal evidence, civil rights, and so forth. But the classes that were required, there were about 7 women. Yes, sir.
You said your daughter was student body president. Is that all it is?
No. She was, that was the first and only University of Mississippi game that I attended. That was in high school. I didn't know that people really trained and had, we got all kinds of rabbits and football games. And it's not that way. People just lose their mind and just belch and
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Okay, so you understand.
I'm the U.S.
I'll leave it alone. It's just that we get the training. The best thing to do is stay away from the training. Yes, sir.
Speaking of Tweety, what is she at now? How's she doing?
Tweety is fine. She is a mother now and a wife. And she's telling me that she's about to lose her marriage because I'm a mama, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, and I'm an employee. You know this. You got a job. You got a child. You got a husband who spoils you to death. And you got a mama who still loves you in spite of yourself. So she's fine. She's working for the Southern Echo. She's doing work that God really wanted to do. She's helping people. She's working with the legislature. Her main preoccupation is education reform. And she's working with teachers and anybody needs any help in education and the status of education and the bills and so forth. Let me know. I'll hook you up with her. Yes, sir.
You said you were at Tubu in the early 1960s. That was when the time the students were involved in marching and whatnot with the civil rights movement. Were you involved in any of those type of activities?
Yes, sir. I became president of the student body, the first female to become president of the student body in 1967 when I was getting ready to go to the university. And there was an incident that happened at Jackson State where students were killed, and the president of Jackson State called and asked me to come over to help them out. And we got a bus loads. We got teachers to take us into town, into Jackson. And then they put a curfew on us. And we had to get back on campus, and we had no way to get back because the professors had already gone back to class. So we came back and we got a bus without permission. And picked students up and came back. I was not permitted to march, but I had already completed all my courses of graduation. Benny Thompson, Congressman Thompson, was the person who drove us. And Richard Roman was also there. So yeah, I was very actively involved in the movement. I was Paul Washington family member. Very, very much involved in the movement. And I want to say the latter days of the movement. So and I enjoyed those 2 opportunities and experiences. Any other questions? I see one of my favorite persons, and I'm not just saying because he was my former boss, but man who has so much integrity that if he's in your presence, it rubs off. And I am just so delighted to see that he's here. This is a real taste of Mississippi history, standing up when it's not always the best position to be in, but standing tall in every instance. And I want to thank you for your patience, and I want to thank you especially because nobody went to sleep. So that's what you got. Thank you so much.